I shouldn't have done that really, but hey, it's a party! And I haven't been allowed to go to a party for nearly 10 years. My last party was in April 2007, and Bath City Football Club had just won the Southern League. That's the league below, the league below, the league below, the league below, the league below the Premiership. Got that? After some lean years, City were finally on the way up. There was hope, even on the days when we played shit and the referee was obviously prone to masturbation. We were organised, we had a team. There was singing on the terraces and the songs reflected our upward mobility. There used to be a song celebrating the fact that City had won a corner. But in 2007, the song said, "We're gonna win the league." That's what we hoped. And much of this hope was down to a super fast, super thin and very bald striker called Scott Partridge. Scotty scored a hat-trick once to win an FA Cup tie. It was at that well-known mecca of football, Havant Town. The 400 City fans that had pootled down the A36 rejoiced like I'd never seen. And when the third goal went in, there was a mass chorus of the song that ruined my life. I sang my heart out and was taken to a higher plane. It was like I'd found God. Only God wore a black and white striped shirt and had the number 10 on his back. Oh, I worshipped every week and sang his hymn as often as I could. And life just got better. There was a huge party in 2007 after the last game of the season, and we were crammed into the bar for video highlights, speeches and a bloody big drink. Each player was announced onto the stage, and those that had their own songs sung at them. And finally it was Scotty's turn, and I was one of the 500 people, boiling hot, elated and slightly pissed, that sang his song. And Scotty waved his arms and sang his song too. I welled up with indescribable happiness. It was the best feeling in the world, and I never forgot it. Now, when I say I never forgot it, I mean I sang that song to myself on the bus home. I sang it in my head as I dropped off to sleep that night, and on first waking the next morning, it was on the Champions DVD, recorded for all of time. And when I needed it, which was quite often, I could play it to cheer me up. It became a bit of a personal theme tune. I'd hum it without realising. I didn't notice at the time, but it got on people's nerves. It came out at the most inappropriate of times, a sort of auto-response to extremes of emotion. So when the dog got run over, I was found in the park where we used to go for walks, dragging his lead and singing out loud. At my nan's funeral service, we sang Abide With Me, the Cup final hymn, and my brain had made the connection. So as the congregation sat down to pray, despite my girlfriend tugging at me, I burst into Scotty's song. Linda was embarrassed, and to be honest, she was getting a raw deal with me following the City home and away, but she was tolerant and understanding until Valentine's night. I promised to make it up to her. We went to a posh country house for the night. Our romantic candlelit meal cost more than my season ticket, I'll have you know. But I didn't mention Scotty or football once. We drank pink champagne, and after the petit fours, we went to our room and kissed, before shedding our clothes and slipping between the soft, silky sheets. It was a very special night. There were obvious jokes, about 45 minutes each way and changing ends at half time, but I'm not going to cheapen the memory of something beautiful. I was lost in the rhythm, our rhythm, although, now you come to mention it, it did have a familiar beat. And as we reached our climax in ecstasy and, you know, fellas, with a degree of relief, I cried out her name. Oh God, oh yes, I love you, Scotty! Linda noticed and hit me, then cried, and by breakfast we were no longer an item. Not long after, I lost my job too, just as we won a big order from Japan. As it was announced by the chief exec, there was applause and backslapping, and one of the senior executives shouted, "Get in there, you beautiful bald bastard!" Oops. The descent was surprisingly fast. The therapists called it a late diagnosed something or other, a dysfunction, an illness. I was under pressure. I watched Sky Sports 1, 2 and 3 as much as I could, every single day, mostly in the pub. And one afternoon I fell asleep on a bench in the high street, in those empty hours between the end of the racing and the start of the football. The hours of documentaries about Alex Ferguson and Frank Bruno. And I was dreaming about Frank, as it happens, that day. So how was I to know it was a copper shaking me awake instead of Mike Tyson? I was still asleep really, and in my head I was in the ring just defending myself. And the poor bloke fell backwards and hurt his head. I said sorry. I pleaded guilty, and it was awful. The arrest, the cell, the court. I sang and sang and sang to make it not better, but bearable. Did I tell you I said sorry? I said sorry a lot, in between the singing. Sorry. But they sent me to prison anyway. And it's hard for me to talk about this. Some people in prison weren't nice. They were real criminals, not like me. There was a lot of bad stuff going on. A lot of bad stuff. Stuff that makes the other bad stuff I've seen, even Yeovil Town, look like nothing. I'm glad to have that in the past. I'm all right now, sorted, and more. It's taken a few years, but I'm cured, apparently. I passed the tests, including Super Saturday at the Olympics, and they said I'm fine. I have good days and bad days, but there's someone assigned, should I need it. And by and large, the medication keeps me on track. So, 2017, eh? A year of anniversaries. 10 years since City won the Southern League and 5 years for Story Friday. I've been to Story Friday quite a lot in that time. It's helped my rehabilitation. And I wanted to say thank you for that. It means a lot. In fact, I wanted to make tonight special, a real celebration. So I stopped taking the tablets last week so I could show you I'm okay without them. I wanted to show you that I'm not mad, never have been. And I'm not cured, never will be. I'm City till I die. Story Friday till I die, probably. So I wanted to share a few special words with you to the tune of Winter Wonderland. I wanted to give you all the chance to be as happy as I am. Feel free to join in. There's only one Scott Partridge. One Scott Partridge. We're walking along, singing a song, walking in a Scotty Wonderland.